Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining and for coming back. This is Joanna the Medium and your intuitive coach. Just very quickly, these are going to be your October readings. I use different cards, sometimes different decks in different readings. Always remember these are general readings, so if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. Also, if you would like to have the long-term forecast from July until the end of the year, you can do so, or you can purchase those videos on my video page or Vimeo page, and that information is also down below for you. I don't think I have anything that is pressing other than thank you so much for watching, for liking, and for sharing. I always want to make sure that I say this first and foremost, because without you, I wouldn't be doing this. And remember that these messages are general, like I said, and they may not apply to all of you. Some messages may apply to some of you. Some messages may apply to different parts of your life, or a little bit of my message may apply to some of your life. So take what makes sense and discard what doesn't. But always remember, it is almost always, these messages never make sense at the beginning of a month, and they almost always make sense towards the end of the month and the beginning of the next month, which would be November, for this series. So also listen to your moon sign and your rising sign, as these may offer you greater clarity. And I think that's all I have. Enjoy these videos, and I look forward to hearing from you. And if you wish to book a reading with me, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, beautiful Geminis. This is going to be your reading for the month of October. I have a very interesting message for you. I asked for channeled information first. I do that lately before any of my readings. And one of the things that was said to me very clearly is that for most of you, the month of October, September, if you are listening this at the end of September, but also the month of October, or whenever you're listening, this is going to be within the next 6 weeks or so. This is a time for you to really hunker down and realize some deep aspects about yourself with regards to conditioning. And it is a time for you to address prior conditioning. These conditionings, whatever they may be, for those of you who this makes sense, are a major roadblock to your happiness. So that was something that was shown to me as being the major hook, if you will, that is keeping you stuck where you are and keeping you away from moving forward into bigger, better, brighter things. So many of you are in a position or in a situation where you are banging your head against the wall. You're trying to do, but the doing or the trying doesn't seem to be enough, and therefore it creates an inner conflict. And the inner conflict came to me as questions and words, and the words that I kept hearing was about enough. Is there ever going to be enough? Is there ever enough? Or will there ever be enough? And they were talking about this concept coming from your family of origin. So for those of you who are struggling with sustenance, that's a different word. Different word, please. For those of you who are having difficulty of making your ends meet, whether it be in financial way, whether it be in relationships, struggles, whether it be in some other aspect of your life where you feel that it's just not enough love, not enough money, not enough abundance, not enough health. There is a deeper underlying cause of you being stuck in that situation. Now, this is not to be taken as a message of it's your fault. Far from it. This is to be taken as a message to be understood that underneath of everything that we do and everything that we are and who we perceive ourselves to be, there is a deeper emotional underlying cause that makes us do the way we do things and makes us behave the way we behave. behave and therefore attract what we do. So in the month of October, particularly in the month of October, for those of you who are on the sign of Gemini, sun, moon, or rising, this is really important for you to address because it is preventing you from moving forward. And relationship, money, career, whatever it may be, jobs, there is very much a stuckness to many of you. And when I was beginning to connect with spirit, it was very apparent to me that these are going to be messages that have a much, much deeper meaning that may not necessarily reflect every aspect of the physical life, but messages that may have a profound effect in the way you change and evolve, and therefore how you move forward on with your life. So some of you may resonate with this, some of you will find this as a complete nonsense and you'll move on, and it is completely okay if that's how you feel. You're just not ready to hear certain things or address certain things, and there is no judgment around that. But this is a deep, deep, deep message for you guys. The other thing I kept hearing is, this is actually a channeled message. Pause and think, is this who I am today? In other words, if you are coming from a sense of poverty from your family of origin, poverty doesn't mean that you had no money. It can, absolutely, but it can also mean poverty with regards to emotion, poverty with regards to health, poverty with regards to impoverished way of thinking, or way of thinking that basically signifies not enough love, not enough money, not enough sustenance, not enough food, not enough whatever, not enough goodness in the world. There is a huge component here that is playing a key point in this for you. So pause and think, is this who I am today? Are you in a place of lack? Are you in a place of not enough? And if that's the case, recognize it for the purpose of releasing it, not for the purpose of trying to fix it. Now, releasing it and fixing it are two different things. The aspect of trying to fix something creates resistance. Releasing it is being aware of it, accepting it, sometimes even loving that aspect of us, because once we connect to it and embrace it, then we can effectively transform it and release it. So an energy can never be fixed, or it cannot be denied. Energy can only be shifted, changed, or transformed. So the next question I heard you say, well, how do I do that? How do I release this? And the answer is love yourself. And then I went right away and I said, okay, what does that mean? Help us, give us a concrete information on what does this mean, loving ourselves more. Know yourself deeper, for only then can you truly satisfy the hunger within you. So this, you understanding yourself on a deeper level, is an act of kindness and a loving act towards yourself. Because once you understand the capacity of who you are and the weaknesses that you hold on to, that have been driven or that have been implemented in you because of where you lived or where you come from, when you become aware of those things, you can then start the process of releasing. So, having said that, and that can apply to any situation. You guys are dealing with many different situations. Having said all that, I said, okay, show me with a card what is the underlying energy for the month of October. This is what came up. This is my favorite card of the entire deck. It is the card of power. It is the card of strength in a traditional tarot deck. 8 is the number of abundance, which is what I kept seeing. 8 is a strong number. 8 is the number of infinity. 8 is a number of auspicion. 8 is strength, belief, power, just like the vision depicts. The element of the lion and the wise man. And strength, both spiritual, which is the color of spirit, and the physical, which is red, which is the color of first chakra. So the month of October has the potential for you to become much more aware of who you are at the deeper level of your existence. And there will be elements in your life in the month of October, and some of you have already been going through this, where you have been experiencing situations that may make you feel very small, not good enough, that there is not enough, all of these things that we talked about just a moment ago. But the purpose of this is for you to recognize, is bring it up to surface so that you can effectively look at it and not deny its existence, not try to fix it, kill it, pretend it isn't there, but be aware of it, embrace it, and work with it from the loving point of view, or from the aspect of loving it, that aspect of you, so that you can transform it and move forward. And he's asking me to say that each and every weakness, or each and every fear, and I'm talking about the unfounded fears that we have, has the absolute potential to become our greatest and biggest strength. But we need to be able to look at the other side of what the equation is. And I think I've said this before. Think of my hand as an equation. On one side you have the fear, but on the other side you have the strength. So it is one coin, if you will, but different sides. And if you can look at your weakness or at your fear and recognize what the potential strength of it is, then you will work towards attaining that strength by being kinder to yourself, doing kinder things towards you and one another, anything that would allow you to feel loving towards you. And once you start the process of loving ourselves, then the world can come and love us more. Because if you come from a place of not enough, if you had a mom, dad who worked really hard and there was not enough ever, and despite having worked very hard, it wasn't their fault, it's just the way that it was, and that's just one example, there's millions of others, you may have grown up thinking this is how the world is, there'll never be enough, and that became your subconscious belief system. So in order for you to address the lack in your life, or not enoughness in your life, you need to be able to understand and address the inner workings of why the world is giving you what you're experiencing, because underneath of everything that you are, there's a deeper feeling or belief that there actually will not be enough. Okay, so but there's a potential here to completely, not only to understand it, but to become aware of it, understand it, and then work from that point of view in order to strengthen your relationship, whether it's with money, whether it's with career, whatever it may be. And we all relate to different aspects of life in a specific way. So then I said to Spirit, okay, what does Spirit want you to know? And the card of deep knowing came up. So when that card came up, I started to kind of chuckle, because it's pretty much the message that was channeled to me earlier. And this is about the deeper knowing, the deeper understanding, having intuition, receiving intuitive promptings, receiving intuitive information intuitively, trusting it 100%, even though sometimes, and actually most of the time I would say, the intuitive feeling does not match with the logical component. So it is also a card that says, we want you to understand yourself deeply. We want you to deeply know yourself. For when you deeply know yourself, only then can you truly satisfy the hunger within you. So, huge message. This is a message of going within. This is a message of trusting your intuition. This is a message of knowing when to do something based on your feeling of intuition, rather than being pushed or pressed by other circumstances outside of you. And that can be tricky for many people, because there are pressures in life, and sometimes we just have to do certain things, based on a time, and putting the brakes on that may not be as easily attained as it sounds. So if this applies to you, and we can go through different scenarios, but example, if you are working on a project and something is not working out and your intuition is to wait, but your boss is getting at you and says, this has to be done now, but you're waiting for some key piece of information without which your project may not be as great as it can be, that can be a little bit tricky because you're not the only one that is connected to this project in this particular example. So you have to find a way to incorporate your inner knowing while still being able to work effectively with other components in your life. In relationship, this is about knowing when to push in a certain through a certain scenario, or to wait things out. So an example would be some of you who are thinking of perhaps calling it a day, and you're thinking of divorce, and this is the example that's being given to me. Knowing when the right time is, and sometimes we need to understand ourselves better and deeper in order to make the right decision moving forward. Because if the decision is made in haste or in fear, one will naturally experience that again, just with a different person. So deeper knowing is what Spirit wants you to know. Understanding yourself deeply, but also trusting yourself that when the time comes, you will be given the information. And if nothing is coming, it is a time for you to perhaps wait. The next card you have is the card of Poise, and this was shown to me in reverse position. So this is what the card says as an upright, and this is how it was shown. The message with this card is not yet. You're not ready yet to move forward with something. And that may surprise some of you, and it may be exactly what you need to hear for others. There is an element of needing to wait with whatever is the most prominent situation in your life. Now, I always say, if there are circumstances around you that dictate to you that you cannot wait, sometimes we can't wait, then you're going to have to proceed accordingly. But this is more about something that you're working towards very, very hard, and it not translating itself into your reality. And the reason for it is that the time or the energies or everything that's surrounding it isn't quite ready in order for you to experience it. So if you are wanting to push a relationship in a certain direction and it's not working out, it's because right now is not the time. If you have been waiting to hear about your work transition or your career and it's not coming, it's because it's not time. If you are waiting for something to move forward, it could be anything, and it's just not coming, but you are hanging on to it for dear life, it's because it's not the right time yet. This message feels very familiar or similar to, I believe, last month's message. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a continuation of September message, because I feel that in September there was a message about needing to wait with something. The message seemed to still stand for some of you. So as we move forward towards, I want to say end of October, November, December, there is a certain amount of movement, but I feel that there's a need to still be still and wait, which again, if you are dealing with underlying energies that are keeping you stuck and they're very much rooted in lack of or not enoughness, that may very well be what is preventing you from getting your hands on whatever it is that you're trying to get. So then I said, show me what messages do you have? Like, give us some message, give us something, give them something. the card of joy came up. And this is a message that basically says, happiness is a state of mind. Happiness is not something that we have. Happiness is not something that we attain. Happiness is not something we buy or is given to us. Happiness is something that comes from within. It is a state of mind. So if you are finding yourself in a situation where there's just not enough of something, and again, this could be a gazillion of things. This is a deep message. This message for you guys for October is not about predictions. This is a much deeper message. Hence, it may not resonate with some of you, and which is okay. If you are finding yourself in a pit, if you will, or in a holding pattern, or in a place where, oh my God, it's just not enough. When is this going to end? It's really important for you to find that stillness from within and allow yourself to find that happiness within you. Now, I already hear someone saying, I have nothing to be happy about. And I would challenge probably 99% of people who would say that to me. Because if you are breathing, if you are living, if you are healthy, if you have a home, and granted some of you may not have home, if you have, there is always at least one thing you can find something to be happy about. And this may feel like a lot of work for some of you. This may feel like a whole bunch of hogwash for some of you, but this is the message Spirit wants you to know. Try to find the happiness within you and try to focus on however minute that may be for you at this time, because that is going to help you move forward, or at least sustain you while you are in this holding pattern. The next card you have is pretty much the same. It's a card of insight. It's about you needing the time, or you needing to spend the time, or allowing yourself to spend the time to go deep within and understand yourself on a deeper level. This is about you and the awareness of the inner you, the inner workings of what makes you you, and therefore what you attract to you. So this message is very profound this week, or this month I should say. Month of October doesn't feel to be light. It doesn't feel bad, but it does feel like it feels very much like a bit of a holding pattern. Not all of you, certainly not all of you, but some of you, and some of you will resonate with this. If this is the case, know that there's a huge potential here for you to exert your inner power. I don't mean the power where you walk around and you're very boastful and you say, I'm powerful. That is not power. That's actually complete opposite. I mean the inner power. This is a time, this is a month where there is a possibility for you, or an opportunity for you, to get to know yourself on a much, much deeper level. And when we truly understand ourselves that deeply, that's truly when our power comes from, or where our power comes from. So I can feel some of you are waiting for things to unfold. I can feel this, and I feel like you're just about ready to get there. But for some of you, it may still not be that time. And at a certain point, you cannot rush things. Some things cannot be rushed. And the metaphor I'm being given is of a beautiful flower. The flower will bloom when the conditions are ripe and right. It will not bloom before its time, because that is simply not how nature works. So allow the nature to take care of whatever is happening in your life. And if you are finding yourself being stuck, take this opportunity to go in and find the stillness within you and allow yourself to find the true magnificence of who you are deep within inside of you. Because again, love yourself by knowing yourself deeply, for only then can you truly satisfy the hunger within you. Above all, be respectful to yourself always. And I feel that's all I have to give to you. I wish you a wonderful month of October. I wish you best of luck. And I do hope that you take this message to heart and allow yourself to hear it a little bit beyond the logic. Allow yourself to hear this in a way that is impactful. Sometimes things cannot be rushed, and there's a higher purpose behind this that sometimes we cannot see, and we have to be okay with that. So find your strength deep within. I wish you best of luck in the month of October, and I look forward to seeing you again in November. Take care.